What's going on, guys? It's Matt Tam and welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the 10 muscle building mistakes that you may be making when trying to build muscle. So the reason why I'm sharing these mistakes with you is because I actually have made a lot of these mistakes myself. I think I've made all 10 mistakes. And when I first started working out, there was so much information, out there, and I didn't know who to listen to. So I was often confused on, how to build muscle properly. So I'd often make these mistakes, and hopefully by sharing these tips with you, you don't make these mistakes as well early on in your fitness journey. Now, the first mistake you may be making is you're not eating enough, and I've made this mistake a bunch of times where I wanted to stay lean. But the thing is, if you are trying to put on muscle, you do want to eat in a slight caloric surplus, increasing your calories, slightly. It doesn't have to be a lot, but increasing your calories by 150 all the way up to 300 calories above your maintenance is good for building muscle. The reason being is because if you're not getting the proper nutrients, such as the proper carbs, the proper protein, the proper amount of fats to fuel your workouts, you aren't going to get the best workouts possible, and you won't be as optimal in terms of building muscle. So remember, guys, in order to be building muscle, you need to be eating enough. But also a caveat to that is don't overeat as well, because if you're overeating, you may be just putting on unnecessary fat, which is not optimal as well. You want to eat in a slight caloric surplus, slowly building muscle around 0.5 to 1 pound of weight gain per week. That would be the max. If you're gaining around 2 to 3 pounds a week, then you should definitely slow it down to the point where you're gaining anywhere from 0.5 to 1 pound a week. So mistake number 2 is you're not lifting heavy enough. Now, I often see people in the gym really not pushing themselves, past their limit, or having, some intensity in their workouts. And that is definitely going to hinder gains. It's super important to be, tearing down the muscle. And how do you tear down that muscle? With heavy weight, with proper form. Make sure that you're lifting heavy weight alongside proper form, because you can be throwing up, say, really heavy weight, but if your form is not correct, you're gonna have other muscles put into place. So it's important to really target that muscle with proper form and heavy weight. Remember, guys, your body needs stimulus to grow. So I always recommend, going harder than last time in your workouts. Now, mistake number 3 is you may be neglecting specific exercises. It's super important to focus on compound exercise if your goal is to build strength and muscle. So in terms of the best compound exercise, what I recommend is barbell deadlifts, barbell bench press, overhead press, barbell rows. Now, these are key exercises if you're looking to pack on a lot of muscle. Now, these heavy compounds are great for adding crucial stimulus that your body needs to build muscle. So it's important to nail down these specific exercises. Now, does that mean you should neglect other exercises? No. Don't neglect, isolation exercises or exercises that, specifically target your biceps or, other muscle groups. It's important to nail down all exercises, but also focus on the compound exercises as your base. So mistake number 4 is you don't have a workout routine. Now, it's super important to have a workout routine, because when I first started working out, I literally went to the gym and I would train whatever I felt like. And that means I trained chest almost every day. I trained biceps every day. And that was the exercises that I would usually hit. And what happened was I neglected other muscle groups. I neglected exercises, and that created an incomplete physique. So it's important to have a specific routine so you can work on all muscle groups evenly. So mistake number 5 is that you often hawk routines. You need to stay with a workout routine for at least 4 to 6 weeks, because that lets your body adapt to that specific exercise and get really good at that specific movement. So if your goal is to, increase your bench or increase your squat, don't expect to, increase your squat in just 2 weeks. You need to stick to that routine, get really good at that movement, get familiar at that movement for at least 4 to 6 weeks before switching workout routines. Mistake number 6 is that you expect instant results. Now, I often see people at the gym, those New Year's resolutioners, where they'll come to the gym for the first 2 weeks in January, and then they'll often quit, a month in, because they don't see results. Now, it's important to remember that results take time. You have to be patient with your fitness journey. You're not going to see results in the first week. You may not see results in the first month. You have to stay consistent for at least, 3 to 8 months, and you will see results if you're consistent with your training, if you're consistent with your diet, you will see results. So remember that you have to be consistent and you have to be patient. The fitness journey is about being patient and building that consistent habit of going to the gym each and every day and building the habit of, getting in your protein. And once you build these things, you will become better. Now, I personally would look at your fitness journey as a skill because it takes time to get good at it. You're not going to get good at piano in, 2 weeks. You have to be consistent and you have to build these habits over time. So once you build that habit of, getting in your protein, tracking your macros, training consistently, and doing these things over and over and over again, then you're going to start getting good at it. You're going to start building muscle. So remember that be patient with your progress and don't rush the process. Now, mistake number 7 is to track your progress. Now, it's super important to track your progress because you aren't going to notice differences in yourself because you're looking at yourself every day. But if you're taking photos, if you're taking your weight, if you're actually tracking your strength, these are measurements that can remind you that you're actually making progress. Now, a lot of the times it's easy to lose track of that. So if you're tracking that on a weekly basis, that's how you know you're progressing. So what I recommend doing is tracking your progress pictures on a weekly basis, taking your weight on a weekly basis, and also logging your strength. Now, I also have a lot of clients who get discouraged when they're not losing weight and the scale is not moving. However, their waist measurements are changing. They're looking leaner in their progress pictures. So remember that the scale is not the only measurement of progress. You have to look at various factors for progress. So mistake number 8 is that you're actually doing too much cardio. Now, it's super important to remember that you guys should obviously be doing cardio because cardio is great for heart health and it's great for fat loss as well. So if your goal is weight loss and fat loss, then definitely do cardio. However, if your goal is to build muscle and you're looking to put on weight, I don't recommend too much cardio for those hard gainers. Cardio has its place if you're looking for fat loss. So what I recommend doing is, keeping your cardio at a low intensity, steady state where you're doing 20 to 30 minutes max a day. Now, mistake number 9 is that you have poor form. Now, I've been a victim of poor form, obviously, because, when you're first starting out, you don't know how to deadlift properly, you don't know how to squat properly, and you are doing bad form. And what that does is you are more open to, getting injury. But aside from that, you are also letting other muscle groups overcompensate to take over that movement. So if you're doing a bench, your chest is not going to be, specifically targeted in that movement because other muscle groups are, taking over to perform that movement. So that is what happens when you're having improper form. Also, when you use improper form, you're more likely to hit strength plateaus because of the overcompensation. So remember, it's important to lift heavy, but don't chase the weight where you're sacrificing your form and you sacrifice injury as well as other muscle groups taking over where you're not even targeting that specific muscle group. Now, mistake number 10 is that you rely too much on supplements. Now, I find this kind of funny because I own a supplement store. However, I see this all the time where, people don't want to put in the work in terms of their diet and their training, and they just think that, they can go to a supplement store, get a magical fat burner or, a magical pill that will help them build a lot of muscle. And that's definitely not the case. Supplements are there to help with, aiding muscle building or fat loss as long as your diet and your training is on point. If that is not on point, then the supplements will not work. So remember that supplements are just something to help and aid alongside a proper diet as well as proper training. So that wraps up today's video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and found some of this information helpful. If you guys need some tips or have any questions, make sure to reach out to me at Matthew Tam Fit on Instagram, or if you're interested in coaching, reach out to me as well. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and of course subscribe.